There's not much cattlemen and women would like more than to be able to predict the weather, especially in their own backyard. That's almost impossible to do, but Russell Nemitz has the next best thing. He caught up with Dr. Douglas of Creighton University to get some insight on the long-term weather outlook for the majority of the nation.
Weather and markets are still the two most important things to farmers and ranchers. And with that just said, we just wrapped up the Cattle Facts Market and Weather Outlook Seminar here at the 2016 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show here in San Diego. And as luck would have it, we have Art Douglas with Cattle Facts here. And tell us what you think temperature-wise, Art, when we're talking about this spring for farmers and ranchers across the country.
We had a very persistent pattern with a ridge in southeastern Canada. That ridge is going to stick there probably all the way into about April. That means real mild weather along the Canadian border, but it means the jet's going to dive south and it's going to be super cool from the southwest into the southeast for the spring.
Now, what about moisture levels this spring? What can we expect there?
Well, with that split jet stream pattern, the polar jet going way north towards the Arctic, the subtropical jet in the south, really good moisture for California into the desert southwest, southern and central plains into the southeast. So really an improvement compared to what we saw last year at this time. On the other hand, northern Rockies going to continue on the dry side, and not a lot of moisture in the Ohio Valley. They normally have good spring moisture, so if it's a little on the dry side, they're happy because they can get into the fields a lot easier.
You know, as we put this segment together, we're still talking about our old friend El Nino a lot in the news, but you see a switch coming in the summer from El Nino to La Nina.
This El Nino's kind of been a fickle El Nino. It started very early in 2014. It never quite performed like it should have last winter. California missed out, didn't get the rains in the wintertime. They had drought continuing. Now it's pretty certain that what we're seeing is this El Nino has peaked. It is getting ready to start collapsing, and by the time we get into at least early in mid-July, we're probably going to shift towards La Nina. The big scary thing is, are we going to have a La Nina situation early enough in the summer to create a lot of hot, dry weather?
So is it safe to say just another interesting year weather-wise here in 2016, Art?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here is we're getting ready to do a pretty major flip. And if we go back and look at historical years like 82, 83, another mega El Nino, as well as 97, 98, we got stuck in this situation of a cool, wet spring during planting time. All of a sudden we go into La Nina, and then what we end up with is a hot, dry summer. And that's really harsh on the crops.
Well, as always, we sure appreciate you taking time right after the Outlook Seminar each year to give us your insight on Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Thank you very much. It's always great to be with you guys.
All right. Again, for more information on markets and weather, you can always visit Cattle Facts' website at cattlefacts.com, or better yet, download their app.